Hello everyone, this is Renault. Hit that like button and hit subscribe. Anyway, I figured I would just say that in the beginning instead of the end. Alright, so let's get started, but first we say hello to Joker. Hello. Hello, plastic plants. Hello, shades. Hello, there's hot chocolate in there. Hello, hot chocolate. What is this? Oh, trash. Hello, plastic plants. And hello, breakfast. That's Doritos for breakfast. And this is going to be a review for Midnight Mystery, number 4 out of 4. And it's called Dead Letters. And unlike the previous 2 issues, the second 2 issues do actually correspond with what happens in the book. I know that that's not a thing that really matters. But it's just kind of interesting how the first 2 just didn't seem to correlate, you know? So anyway, in this book, Zeke King, first pages never really matter too much. Zeke King is narrating, and throughout the story, hold on, he's having trouble sleeping. Here he is, oh, and by the way, I have the, just the window and the shades open so I can get some light in here. All the previous reviews were done like in the middle of the night. And I figured, well, that makes lighting bad. Anyway, Zeke King, our protagonist, is having trouble sleeping. Here he is enjoying his meal with some wine. And throughout the story, there's some narration, and it's the narration of various soldiers who have died. And so Zeke, he keeps trying to fall asleep, and whenever he falls asleep, he sees these dead soldiers. And this issue has a couple of silly art things that I had problems with when it comes to the art. For example, this is one of the soldiers who he's seeing in his sleep who died. But if you look at it, that's not how a dead person who's hung themselves would look. At least, I don't believe so. I mean, if you look at it, he's not slumped over or whatever. I mean, is there something that really should have been referenced? Anyway, he wakes up. Our protagonist, Zeke King, he wakes up. Hold on, let me skip a couple of pages. Or not. I'm using my Bigfoot Bill bookmark. So again, he's trying to go to sleep. He falls asleep again, and he sees more dead people. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a narration throughout. And the narration is the dead people just talking about some aspects of their lives. But they're also talking to Zeke. So, you know, plane crash, he wakes up. But I found it a little bit disjointed, because it just kind of didn't make sense. There are panels where there should clearly be some lettering explaining what the heck is going on, but instead it's the dead soldiers talking about their lives. So again, he wakes up, he tries to see a late night movie, and he falls asleep. Again, no lettering, no words, no explanation. It makes it a little bit hard to follow for me. Just a second. Let me skip a couple more pages. There is something I did want to point out really quickly. This guy, he gets killed by friendly fire, which doesn't make sense, because they're like in the field. Everything's clear. They're not being ambushed by the enemy. They're not in a forest. He just gets randomly shot. But look at where he's being shot. It's at the top of his shoulder. Now, I don't have an in-depth knowledge of anatomy, but that looks like one of the, it was just a flesh wound, you know? But then here, it looks like he got punctured in the middle of his chest and he's dying. Like, it would not have been a big deal to
you know, change this, because it's already in a straight line. You could have just had it going right through his chest or even through his heart, because if you look at the line, like, you could see it going right through his heart, and that would have been a lot different. But anyway, let me just skip a couple more pages. This is going to be a really fast review. This is my Cyber Frog bookmark. So anyway, the dead soldiers, they're done narrating. Zeke King cannot sleep, so he just goes for a walk. And while he's going for a walk, this is Zeke King, and then some people are going to kidnap him. His friend, who he's been sending the information to, got a lot of pictures of, the burning bride. But anyway, Zeke King gets kidnapped. They're going to get him. And they're going to take him where? Who are these people? What do they want? There are a bunch of wasted panels in this entire series, basically. And I don't want to say wasted. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say wasted panels. Maybe those wasted panels could have been like foreshadowing or a voiceover saying, we need to find him. We need to find Zeke King and take him to us. And in previous issues, we don't necessarily need to know who was speaking, but it would have been better foreshadowing instead of having some of those wasted panels. Anyway, he's kidnapped. Just a moment. Let me skip a couple more pages. And so that's it. He gets captured, but we do have, going back to Conrad. And so he's returning home. Now, and this is the reason why I have a problem with Conrad and Roland Blackwood and that whole thing is because he had everything. Look at the house he lives in. Or he lived in. No, this isn't actually the house he lived in. That's the house, that's his, Roland Blackwood's house. But, like, why is it going to the son? Was it listed in a will? I don't know. I'm going to assume that it was, but I don't know. I would imagine that the estate would have had to go to the sister. But anyway, he had everything. Well, he didn't have everything, but he had most of what he wanted. And I've mentioned this before in a previous review. I don't really know why he was being seduced by his father, Roland Blackwood. But anyway, he's returning to the father. It's Roland Blackwood's estate. You can see it had the shows for the Count Karloff. Big, beautiful house. As you can see, Roland Blackwood has clearly infected his mind. And so this is narration of Conrad's girlfriend. And so Conrad's girlfriend is talking about how Conrad has quit. He's quit football, and he started drinking, fighting, and eventually he's dropping out of school. He's changed. He's more aggressive. He's unsatisfied. Obviously, that's Roland Blackwood's influence, but he's different now. And his girlfriend is talking about how she's leaving him. And you can see Roland sadistically embracing Conrad, but yeah. I find just the pure ghost stories and the PI aspect far more entertaining than and the stories that come from that, rather than Zeke King's backstory or this relationship between him and his son. I mean, it's just not nearly as satisfying as the pure private investigation stories. But anyway, that's the end of my review. This story will continue, just a moment, in, what's it called? It's Ghost Stories? City of Ghosts? Hold on. City of Ghosts. Oh, yeah, here it is. To be continued in Midnight Mystery, City of Ghosts. And, I might check it out. It's just, I am not interested in Z King's backstory, at least how it's been set up so far. And I'm not interested in the Roland Blackwood Conrad relationship because it doesn't really feel natural. Anyway, I will give this. It's not my type of story, so I'll give it. So I want to be sure I'm just not taking off points because it's not my type of story. So I'll just give it a 7.6 out of 10. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hit that like button and subscribe. Alright, bye-bye.